What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You guys seen the clip. Now, before some of you simpletons get on here and start accusing me, you're a liar, Ego. I know some of you guys like to read titles and don't pay attention, so let me break it down before you start. You're a liar, man. You're a liar. That wasn't Broner at the beginning. Do I have to show you guys everything? Hold up. Now, as you guys can see, like the title suggests, Adrien Broner, he's preparing for his June 20th fight against Showtime, Shawn Porter on PBC at the MGM. And there's a change of plan. He was training back at home. Now he's in Las Vegas training at the Mayweather gym, which is, in my opinion, a good look. And I want to spend some time talking about that. So Broner's out in Vegas. He's training at the Mayweather gym. And I said this before, Broner Porter is one of the fights that I'm really looking forward to. Out of all the fights that are currently made, this is perhaps on my top list. You know what I mean? Maybe in my number one. I'm talking about fights that are actually made. There's other fights that may come into fruition, Carl Froch, Triple G, or Canelo versus Cotto. But I mean fights that are already done deal and we're just waiting on them. So Broner Porter is one of those fights, and it's really just because it's an intriguing matchup. Now, aside from the matchup being something that I like, this is a risky fight for both. You got to keep in mind, both fighters have one loss. So no one's in a rush to get a second loss. And this is going to be interesting to see who has to take that fade, who's going to take that L, and how it turns out. But I like Broner's head in this, going away from all the distractions in Cincinnati. And the thing is, a lot of times as fighters, especially if you're a person like Broner, you have to know your strengths and know your weaknesses. When he lets his hands go, he looks really good. He looks really sharp, very impressive. The thing is, there's certain things with this fight game that I've personally noticed, and I'm like, why is he playing around right now? Is he not taking it serious? He's doing a bunch of club promotions. So I really like this move, going closer to where you're going to be fighting. You can acclimate to the weather. You could be around that energy. Big bro, you know, AB. I'm with Big Bro, you know what I'm saying, train in his gym, get that whole feeling going, and it's away from the distractions, because I think Broner, like other fighters, another fighter would be Chris Arreola. I talked to Henry Ramirez, Arreola's trainer, and he told me for a fight camp, they had to go to Phoenix. Chris Arreola is from SoCal. He's from Southern California. But to go away from everything, they trained for I think it was a Seth Mitchell fight in Phoenix. And as you guys can see, he got the stoppage in that fight. So sometimes it's imperative to go away from the distractions. When you're in town, like that's like me being in town versus if I'm traveling somewhere for boxing or to film something. It's a different, I don't know everybody. Like when I went to Omaha, I don't know people in Omaha per se. You know what I mean? Versus out here, I know people, you run into people at the store and stuff like that. So there's a lot of distractions. So I like this move from Broner because he seems like a person who is susceptible to becoming distracted. And Shawn Porter's not the opponent you don't want to have a fluid training camp with. So I really like this move. Hopefully he's coming correct. And some people were mad about the catch weight. The catch weight, I'm not a big catch weight person, but in this situation, it's really not that big of a deal. Honestly, Broner, he is the A side, I guess you could say. Some people may disagree, but he really is. Whether you hate him or you love him, I would say Broner is a bigger name in the sport of boxing. That's why Porters, they were okay taking the catch weight, because they want the chance and the platform to beat a guy like Broner, who is celebrated. And I'm not saying, there's a lot of times where people could be celebrated or A side. It doesn't mean they're the best fighter or whatever. But I think in this equation, Broner is more of the A side based on his personality, his relationship with Floyd, and just how much he's talked about. So that being said, I think the catchweight more so is there for just like a bargaining chip, just to make your opponent have to do something. He's already fought at welterweight. They clearly could have made it, but I think it's more of a psychological, strategic advantage where they're just forcing Shawn Porter and Team Porter to have to do something extra and have to monitor something else. Just like I said, psychological warfare. Mayweather stole Oscar De La Hoya's bags, and it's just it's a way, in my opinion, I think that is why the catch weight was initiated for Broner. I mean, he might not be all the way comfortable at 147. Plus, it gives a little bit of a psychological edge by, it's like when Diddy made Making the Band when they had to walk to get the cheesecake. You know what I mean? It's just making them go through these monkey drills and jump through hoops to meet you. Or, you know what I'm saying? This psychological warfare, that's the best way to put it. So it's 2 pounds. If Shawn Porter's not out of shape, and the other thing is this, Shawn Porter just recently had a fight. Again, I'm not a big catchweight person, but I'm just saying facts. He just had the fight with Eric Bonet, a last minute replacement. He didn't really get banged up like that in the particular fight. So his weight shouldn't have been an issue because he had to make weight to be in that fight. So had he been like a Devin Alexander, that would have been a different situation, because Devin Alexander, as you guys know, he fought Amir Khan in December, and we haven't seen him since. He's been really MIA. Or Gamboa. Gamboa lost to Crawford. He had a comeback fight, and I ain't heard anything about Gamboa. Or Chad Dawson. There's a lot of people right now, the more I think about it, I'm like, where the hell they go? I haven't heard or seen them back in the ring since. So again, if it was a Devin Alexander, he hadn't fought since December type of situation, then it might be harder for him to get the weight. But knowing that he just had a fight on PBC with Eric Bonet, which was not too long ago, and then now he's going into this, I don't think the weight should be a huge issue for him. So other than that, I'm looking forward to it. Broner's going to be in the Mayweather gym. I think it's a good fight on paper. Floyd is probably lamping and chilling with his money, with his $250 million or whatever he earned from fighting Pacquiao. I'm sure he'll swing by the gym to give Broner some pointers and some tips. But I really like the move from Adrien Broner. Hopefully he starts taking his career really seriously, and we get to see the best from both men June 20th. Make sure you like my video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off.